Okay, yeah, we're set on our end, so whenever you're ready.
So, who's this guy again?
He's a Mystorian. They're a secret society of mystery solvers. I sent him the CD with Ampersand's classified files to see if he could crack the encryption.
Okay, how do you have connections with a secret society?
It's a long story, don't even ask. End result, they owed me a favor.
Hey Khan, how's it going?
Hey, Mystorian 85, Miss Nightmare. Miss Nightmare, 85.
It's a pleasure to meet you, ma'am.
Likewise.
So what do you got for us?
Well, there's a lot of typical law firm stuff that's largely irrelevant, but there are a few things involving copyright that those of us who are involved in this kind of work might want to keep an eye on.
What about the bracelets?
Well, it looks like the shyster was telling the truth. The Mistress of Despair didn't tell him much, but here's what we do know. The bracelets are called the Vincula Vindictae, and black magic users tend to use them to enact revenge on their enemies. Basically, it's working the way it is now. They slowly seep the life force out of those who are wearing them at regular intervals, and it keeps doing it until eventually...
Yeah, Death, we already know about that. How do we get these things off?
Again, the shyster was telling the truth. Basically, whoever created the bracelet sets up task for his or her victim, and as they complete the task, they receive a key.
Yeah, we know all this. Is there any way to get the bracelets off without completing all the tasks?
Well, if it is, it's not in any of the information you gave me.
So basically, except for the name, we're back to where we started?
Might I make a small suggestion?
Yeah?
Have you thought about contacting someone else?
Like who?
Look, if the bracelets were created by a black magic user, then logic dictates you should get another black magic user to take them off.
I think after defeating MOD, most of those black magic users wouldn't be likely to help us. Okay, mainly me. They might help Khan a little bit, but yeah, if my name's in there, they're not gonna help.
I don't know. The Black Archives does have a pretty extensive file on black magic users who aren't exactly, competent.
You want us to consult a moron?
Oh, look, just because they're not threatening the world with demonic forces of hell doesn't mean that they don't know anything that could be very helpful.
Okay, set it up.
Wait a minute, what?
Khan, it's a good idea. It'll lead us straight to the source, or the next best thing anyway. You know someone who could be able to help us out on this situation, 85?
I think I can set something up with a guy. He's low level, but word is he's got a lot of intel. It'll take a while, but I think I can set up a meeting.
Sounds good.
Oh, that looks like it hurts.
Understatement of the century.
Set up the meeting as soon as you can. We are running out of time.
Will do, but before I go, Khan, I found something else about that mouthpiece Ampersand you need to know.
Tell me later. We've got to get on this review.
Are you sure? Because it has something to do with why Ampersand started.
Son of a bitch!
Right. I'll call you later. If there is a later.
Jeez. We better get on this. These things are getting more insistent.
Yeah, guess so. But hey, we're making some progress, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah. Here's hoping we make enough before these things kill us.
Monsters, monsters, so bizarre. M-O-N-S-T-E-R. Monsters, monsters, yes we are. M-O-N-S-T-E-R. Monsters, monsters, so bizarre. M-O-N-S-T-E-R. Monster, monsters, the party never dies. Monster high, monster high, monster high. Freaky, she can fly.
What's the next movie?
Let's see. Next up is... Oh, Christ. Scaris, City of Frights.
Scaris, City of Frights originally aired on Nickelodeon in March of 2013. However, unlike all the other Monster High specials, this one didn't get released on DVD in US until July of last year for some reason.
No prologue bit this go-round, so we jump right into the action by heading for Scaris right after the credits, where we meet acclaimed fashion designer Moanatella Ghostier, who is not impressed with what she's been given for her latest line.
This is what you give to me? The great Moanatella Ghostier. Monsters, they are dying to see my new ideas. If I do not wow the press with my new line, I could disappear forever.
Well, thanks for telegraphing the climax of the story right out of the gate there, movie.
Come, we need to find some new blood.
3 guesses where that new blood is going to be found. Yep, it's back to Monster High, where we see Rochelle on duty as the school's safety monitor, although she appears to be pining over a letter at the moment. Meanwhile, in math class...
This is the most impossible math problem known to man or monster.
Oh my god, dude, how many classes are you teaching? I feel like these movies keep changing the subject matter every time he reviews a movie. Just why?
Standard high school cartoon rule number 447. All high schools are considered to have a full faculty as long as there's at least 1 head administrator and 2 teachers. In this case, we have Bloodgood, Mr. Rotter, and Mr. Hack. And while Jackson is enthralled with the idea of solving the world's most difficult math problem, our usual cast of characters appear to be up to something.
The bell rings, it's go time. That's the whole point. Abby, we good on music?
Have 2 choices. Fun, upbeat rock with roll. Or greatest hits of Himalayan yak band, huh?
Let's go with the first one.
The bell rings and the girls start the music, which naturally triggers Jackson's transformation into Holt, who takes the boombox and runs out into the halls, causing Rochelle to lose her grip on the flower petal that was in her letter.
As she chases it around, we see Ghoulie is in on whatever the hell it is that Clawdeen's been planning.
I don't think every student would be this excited over clothes. Scratch that. I think they're actually excited mainly because it's delaying classes. Also, I know many different kinds of flash mobs. I've never seen one geared to fashion before, so this is kind of the first for the movie.
And again, I asked the question that I've always asked every cartoon set in high schools. Where the hell do they find the time to do all this? Look, when I was in high school, I had 10 minutes in between classes to get to my locker, get my books, and get the hell to my next class. Who has this much time to roam the halls? Apparently, Toralei does, who, of course, being snubbed, decides to mess things up by screwing around with the outfit assignments for the boys' turn on the runway.
Heath, what are you doing?
I'm doing my best. I don't know how you ghouls walk in these.
And once more, Heath, you're an idiot. The next day, Clawdeen notices she's getting a lot of looks in the halls, and it turns out Golia uploaded the entire fashion show to FrightTube, where it's gone viral. After, of course, she fended off the 160 different types of unfalse claim content IDs that went against the music, the types of shots shown, and even different sources of light reflected from the disco ball, as shown in the video.
Despite the success, Clawdeen isn't happy about the show blowing up on the internet.
High fashion is all about these rules of strict form and design. And I broke most of those rules with my freaky outfits. We gotta take this down before anyone important sees this.
Clawdeen, sweetie, you're making a mountain out of a molehill from this. Seriously, the outfits shown in the video were okay, a bit tacky, but there was nothing wrong with them. Oh yeah, the rules of fashion. They never explain the rules in this movie. Period. Like none.
But as we all know, it doesn't take long for anybody to see anything once it's been uploaded online. And in this case...
Stop this one. I must have
Thanks, Kuya.
I can't believe she did that.
I thought it was, like, impossible to take something off the internet.
Stupid! You're made of stupid! As you might expect, the group gets called to Bloodgood's office where, surprisingly, they find out they aren't in trouble, and because this special is only 45 minutes long, they also get slammed with the next plot point.
In fact, it turns out I wasn't the only one watching. Guess who I just got off the phone with? Lead jug player for Himalayan Yekben. No.
No, not that plot point. This plot point.
Moanatella Ghostier. She wants you to come to Scaris to study fashion under her.
What about my ghouls? I couldn't have done any of this without them. Can they come with me?
Oh, please. And you know I don't beg.
Oh god, please no, there'll be too many subplots again, please, I beg of you!
It is no bother. We have the room. Okay, everyone can go.
Damn it! Oh.
And so it's off to Scaris. Well, actually, first it's off to the airport to Scaris.
Kuya, what do you got in this? It weighs a monster ton.
You brought your scooter?
No way.
Oh, wow. I do not want to know what the airline's unreasonable baggage check-in fee is going to be for that. Or for all of this.
What is wrong with these girls? You don't have to pack your entire closet for a 1-week trip. Seriously, I can see 1 or 2 bags for a con, even 3, but 20 is stretching it.
Oh, I am so voltageously excited. I think I might blow my circuits.
And this is why Frankenstein Creation or any electrical bane aren't allowed on planes.
It's also how Frankie got put on the no-fly list and learned to love Amtrak. But that's neither here nor there. What is here is our first subplot, as Rochelle tells Frankie about her boyfriend back home, and we get some explanation about the flower petal we saw her chasing earlier.
He does not love me anymore.
Wait a second. You're telling me that the boy who wrote you these letters, the boy who invented his own rose bush for you, just found somebody else? I don't believe it.
Holy shit, Frankie's actually thinking and using logic. What the hell?
I know, right? It's weird. In fact, this subplot is actually a lot more interesting than the main one. Which means, why isn't this movie about Rochelle in her own city instead of following Clawdeen?
Because Mattel needs to sell fashion dolls.
So Frankie vows to help Rochelle find Garrot while they're in Scaris, but of course the trip takes a turn south because, well...
Toralei, you stowaway kitty. What are you doing here?
Ugh, does she have to show up in every single one of these movies?
If it's our main cast having fun and one of the subplots doesn't focus on Cleo, yeah.
Why do you have to try and ruin everything we do?
See? Even the characters know this is complete crap.
And so the ghouls arrive in Scaris, where we get the laziest introduction of a new character ever. This is Katrine Demew, another cat girl. She was introduced with the Scaris line of dolls, and throughout this special, she just shows up randomly in the background and has no lines. Nice job there, writers. Now in Scaris, the group breaks up. Frankie and Ghoulia go with Rochelle to find Garrett, while the rest of the ghouls plan on seeing Clawdeen to Madame Ghostier's offices, and hopefully ditch Toralei in the process.
Scaris is a very big place. I don't want anyone to get lost.
I do.
You must promise me that you will all stay together.
Well, shit.
Subplot number 2 starts back up at Monster High when Deuce and Cloud kind of start losing their minds without their girlfriends around. And Heat's not helping.
Draculaura's in the most romantic city in the world, with the most romantic dudes in the world. I'd be like mega jealous. Props, brah.
Thank you, Deuce. Look at that idiot statue. Let's put that in the catacombs.
Clawdeen arrives at Madame Ghostier's studio, where she meets the two other designers invited to visit, Skelita Calaveras and Jennifer Long, a Calaca and a dragon, respectively. However, it appears that Madame has other ideas.
Consider this a fashion boot camp. At the end, one of you will become my apprentice. The others will be tossed to the curb like last season's collection.
Oh, great, so now the specialist turned into Project Runway. Only it sucks more. And wait till you get a load of the first assignment.
You will have 30 minutes to design the most elegant, regal, and amazing outfit for my cat.
A cat?
Wow, the voice actor voicing the cat did not give a crap. Hell, I can do a better job voice acting for a cat. So what'd you think?
I think I just lost about 3 teeth from cavities.
Yay! And because Toralei is here, but has nothing to do with the plot, we waste a few minutes watching her enact every ugly American stereotype in the book and annoying the rest of the ghouls. This has nothing to do with anything, so let's see what Rochelle, Frankie, and Ghoulie are doing.
His name is Garrot. If you see him, s'il vous plaît, call me.
Rochelle! Isn't that the exact leather jacket Garrot was wearing in the picture?
After him!
My dearest designers.
Wait, you just got that subplot going again and now you're dissolving back to the main plot? Did the editor have ADD? What was even the point of doing that if you weren't going to follow through with it? Anyway, it turns out Madame is not impressed with any of the offerings of her potential apprentices.
Under your desks are brand new design books. You will throw away your old one and fill this one with what I teach you. The ghoul with the best book will be chosen as my new apprentice. I suggest you leave your old style to history, or else you will be history.
Basically be like everybody else, instead of being out of the ordinary. No thank you. I'm okay with my own style, thank you very much.
Meanwhile, back at the chase...
No, stop! That area is forbidden. They say that monsters who venture down there are never heard from again.
Foreshadowing!
The girls emerge from the catacombs and spot the driver of the other scooter, but thanks to a passing cyclist, they hit a railing, causing Ghoulia's scooter to be completely totaled, and as for the driver...
Garrot? Pardonnez-moi.
Wow, that's some bad animation there. I don't believe that head belongs to that body. Not only that, we saw her in a completely different part of the city doing art in the background just a moment ago.
Back at Monster High, Heath's offhand comments about Scaris have Claude in a panic.
That place is super romantic. I can't compete.
It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure that thing with Valentine was a freak event.
Heath, you're an idiot. Also, stop bringing up that movie! But being an idiot is apparently contagious, since Claude goes to Cupid for some advice and takes away exactly the wrong message.
Listen to me, hun. I think you should take a deep breath, relax, and trust her, okay?
So you're saying I should go to Scaris and find her? I'm on it.
No! Claude!
And that's the last time we ever see Cupid. No, seriously. This is her last appearance in any of the Monster High films before she transferred to Ever After High.
Behold C.A. Cupid, adopted daughter of Eros, the god of love.
She currently attends Monster High, but is about to discover that another school is in need of her very special talents.
See? Of Ghoulia doing small performances and earning money in Scaris to get herself a new scooter. Enough of the subplots already!
And speaking of which, Frankie and Rochelle hit up Garrett's favorite cafe and discover the last time he came in, he said he had a great opportunity offered to him and he wouldn't be coming in anymore. Also, the last place anyone saw him was down by the river. And just in case you thought Madame Ghostier was simply an egotistical jerk, let's shred any last vestiges of likability she actually had.
Mais oui, my captive creator. Your time has come, mon ami. These new ghouls are good. As good as you were before you lost it. And one of them will replace you as my ghost designer. Consider yourself fired.
Gee, I wonder who that could be.
The boys fly to Scaris with Heath tagging along, even though Claude specifically asked him not to, because much like Toralei, we can't seem to get a single damn movie without him. Back in Scaris, Clawdeen and the others get their next assignment, which again the Madame is not impressed with.
What is this? You know you cannot wear boots after Scarborough Day?
Well, yeah, but I thought
You
that...
thought? Impossible! Infantile, primitive, all his talent, but you refuse to adhere to the tenets of fashion!
Oh, shut up, Madame. Who the hell cares about the rules of fashion? The Madame twists Clawdeen, telling her to throw away her sketchbook and confine herself to how it's supposed to be done. It's shown with a montage with the other goals that Clawdeen changes her style to how the Madame wants it. Plain, normal, and boring as hell.
You know what? It's been a while. Let's check in with the boys.
I miss you, Ghoul! Leo! I miss someone telling me what to do!
I miss girls who speak my language.
Never mind. Let's check in instead with Frankie and Rochelle.
Rochelle is about to give up on finding her boyfriend until her and Frankie find a vine of the special roses mentioned earlier, leading to the catacombs.
Meanwhile, Skelita and Jennifer have noticed Clawdeen's change of style and expressed their concerns.
Why do you design? Well, I'd die without it. It's how I express who I really am. Who you really are, or who Madame wants you to be.
Rochelle and Frankie search into the catacombs, coming across Garrot, who has been locked up by the Madame as her former apprentice forced to design for her, just as the Madame has picked Clawdeen as her new apprentice, bringing the ghoul down to the catacombs and locking her up along with Frankie and Rochelle.
You're a brilliant designer, Clawdeen. I'm going to use the designs from your book as my new line. Now, if you'll excusez-moi, I have a triumphant fashion show to prepare for.
Basically, the Madame is every art thief around the internet. Can I destroy her now?
How about we give Clawdeen a chance to do it first? But before we do, there's something I want to talk about that happens with the rest of the group. Specifically, this.
I've never had so much fun in my life. Fun?
Maybe she thinks that word means something else.
You've been a real buck the whole trip, Toralei.
I know. That's fun to me.
What's so special about that? It's just Toralei being annoying, and it serves nothing to the plot or anything else in that matter. It's a reason why we've been skipping it over.
It's not Toralei, it's what Laguna calls her. Play it again.
You've been a real buck the whole trip, Toralei.
So it's just some insult. It's nothing important.
No, it isn't. This may, in fact, be the greatest example of what TV Tropes calls getting crap past the radar ever documented in a kid's movie franchise.
What do you mean?
Before I explain, let me make it clear that the word I'm about to use is done so strictly for informational purposes only. I do not use this word in everyday life, and I will only use it once here.
Okay.
Laguna just called Toralei a cunt.
What?
Burke, despite the fact that Laguna is established as being from Australia, is a bit of British rhyming slang. If you don't know how it works, the basic process is as follows. You take the word you want to slang, in this case, well, you know, and then find some word or phrase that rhymes with it. So the word in question became rhymed with the phrase Berkeley Hunt, a reference to the popular annual pastime among the gentry. Once you have your rhymed phrase, this tends to get shortened, and through one of those quirks of language, it's usually the non-rhyming word in the phrase which gets shortened and used. So that word becomes Berkeley Hunt, which gets shortened to Burke. And this is also the reason why Bloom County comic strip creator Berkeley Breath started using his full first name when he found out what the shortened version actually meant.
Oh my god. I don't know whether that's awesome or horrifying. Let's move on.
Claude, with the power of his nose, smells his sister down in the catacombs and leads the boys down for a rescue, where both Deuce and Heath actually have a brief moment of awesome.
Everybody wants to get revenge on the Madame, but Clawdeen decides to beat her at her own game. And that game is high fashion, baby.
But they can't do it on their own, and since it's time for the subplot wrap-up, everyone meets back up at Madame's studio.
Anybody miss me?
I missed him. Little bit.
Skelita and Jennifer show up, sensing that something was fishy about the whole thing, whatever, and return Clawdeen's sketchbook to her.
So with 4 designers, a crew of helpers, and a little boost from the full moon, Clawdeen starts cracking a whole new line of fashion that breaks every rule.
But needing wheels to get across town, Heath starts trying to get Rochelle's family car up and running. Fortunately, Ghoulia decides to throw her scooter replacement money at the project. And then...
What is the meaning of this?
And these outfits are actually well done. I could see myself wearing Frankie's or Cleo's. Even with Toralei tries to do a little fashion change in Heath's outfit, but the crowd loved the kilt work. With this, it causes the Madame to at last be forgotten, as Clawdeen gives her speech that it's better to be extraordinary with many different types of styles instead of one.
These monsters behind me gave me the confidence. There's room for more than just one voice. And with Moanatella Ghostier gone, the world of fashion just got a lot bigger.
And so, the movie ends with Skelita and Jennifer joining the ghouls at Monster High, Garrett promising to wait for Rochelle as she finishes out her education there, and Clawdeen owning the fashion world, which is then forgotten after this film. And that was Scaris City of Frights. And honestly...
Hey, where are you going?
The hell?
Don't you want to see how we got home?
Okay, it looks like we're not quite done here.
Scaris was a monster blast.
Shut up, Frankie!
Okay, so basic setup. The group has a little time to kill before they have to go to the airport, and...
There's still so much to see.
Oh my god, are we high again? Is the purple lizard underneath my bed again? No? Oh. He's wrapped up in bandages because he learned not to mess with me last time. And now he's giving me the finger. Excuse me one minute, Khan. I got something I gotta take care of. Come on here, you little bastard.
Your design book sure has a lot of,
personality.
Tell me about it. It seems like the more drawings that I filled it with, the more it came to life.
Then why didn't it come alive during the film when Clawdeen threw it in the trash? This makes no sense.
Yeah, I gotta agree. There's plot convenience and then there's crap like this. Anyway, the group heads to the airport where, due to the flight being overbooked, the group gets split up across 2 planes, having the cast. Thank God.
Only one bag? I'm impressed. You've shown a lot of restraint.
Well, that explains why the flight is overbooked. The rest of the seats are for Cleo and Draculaura's shopping bags.
Things get started when Frankie accidentally picks up the bag with Clawdeen's book in it, and Heath, having a moment of macho insecurity, ditches the bag with some other luggage, which of course gives the book a chance to get loaded onto another plane. Again, Heath is an idiot.
Frankie says she's not going home without the book, and the rest of the group say they'll stick with her. They find out the plane is going to, Bangladesh, and they start chasing the book down.
Ghoulia figured out a way to track the bag using the creep PS in Clawdeen's phone.
Shut up, Frankie!
Hey, Jen. Miss me?
You know what? That was a quite literal sick burn. The group finds the book, but it sets off some feedback through a megaphone which starts...
Stop thief!
Don't worry, I got this covered. Jumanji!
You're welcome.
Never mind, it didn't work. Even as a magical girl, I can't even make that work. Thanks to Frankie's mad hand skills, they managed to recover the book, but it's stolen by a giant bird, forcing the group to follow it in hot air balloons. What? Wait a second. Hot air balloons traveling around the world trying to get an item or something. Oh my god, this is the Chipmunk Adventure.
Can't be. We haven't seen any Eurotrash diamond smugglers or one really well-animated musical number that overshadows everything else in the movie. The chase is back on, but again, thanks to Heath trying to impress Jin, the balloons become separated. Cleo tries to use an amulet to catch up, but as has been established in the web series, Cleo and magical amulets don't get along, and she, Deuce, and Skeleta wind up crashing at Skull Shores, where the Tiki remember her and are not inclined to help them.
Meanwhile, Frankie's group land in the Himalayas and begin searching for the book.
Malida.
Frankie's group finds the book but loses the balloon in the process, which doesn't really matter because the book makes a break for it and manages to land on a speeding train.
We followed that book everywhere.
Shut up, Frankie.
Frankie and company find themselves out on the open ocean after losing the book on a cargo ship, where a giant sea monster eats them.
According to your Duomahickey, we should be right on top of it.
Great! Can we stop now?
No, we still have to see what happens with Cleo and her group.
I'm going to do what I do when Nephra and my father won't let me go somewhere.
Right. Pretend like you don't want to go.
Precisely.
Teenage magic. So Cleo went to the Tiki and...
Shut up, Frankie! Man! We said this more times in the first 10 minutes of this short than any of the other reviews we've done so far.
I never want to leave. A walk-in closet here. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Reverse psychology works once again. And scores umbrella drinks, apparently. Anyway, by sheer coincidence, the sea monster is getting close to Monster High, and Jinnifier makes a realization about this whole stupid chase.
Places we never would go otherwise. Now, it has led us to Monster High.
Jin was right. It created this amazing adventure, sending us to the four corners of the world.
Shut up, Frankie.
Okay, I'm getting bored with this, so let's wrap it up. The book gets the whole group to do the Pinocchio thing with the sea monster, which causes it to puke them out. Ugh. And they all just happen to land right in their balloon. Thanks, Flock Convenience Fairy!
That was convenient.
I told you the characters would become software! You don't believe me, Compa? No!
Of course, Heath sets fire to the balloon, but it doesn't matter since they're directly over the pool at Monster High. Cleo, Deuce, and Skeleta are already there, and Clawdeen finally gets her damn book back, and the movie is finally over. So that's Scaris, City of Frights, and, well... ugh. This one is, quite frankly, boring as hell. While the new characters are interesting enough, everything else is just limp and dull. It's not terrible, but it's not particularly good either. It's just there. The pacing is horrible, the main plot is dull, the subplots, except for Rochelle's search for Garrett, are worse, the entire climax is wrapped up in literally the last 5 minutes, and the less said about the short at the end, the better. God love the animators and the voice cast for trying to make it interesting, but ultimately, I'll be just fine if this is the last time I see Scaris.
This film was okay, but I wish it could have been much better than how it is. Another film wrapped with many subplots since the last one, with too many characters to focus on. The villain, while a bit interesting, had a design that looked too human. Yes, she was a ghost, but is simply being forgotten work for every ghost or just her? Why doesn't she look like Spectra instead of how the Madame looks here? I can finally talk about the animation, that it's gotten better, especially with a few light shots in the catacombs, but nothing more. Hell, the main plot felt more like a subplot, and the one with Rochelle should have been the main. Like I mentioned earlier, why isn't the story about Rochelle instead? And that short at the end was completely pointless, it didn't even need to be made. Overall, Scaris is an okay film that should have done better.
Nope. I don't see the key on my end. How about you?
Somewhere around here, I just can't pinpoint where. Night! Uh-oh. Hey, Casey, what's up? Don't what's up with me, Night. I was on a very important call for work when this dropped on my head. Oops. Sorry about that. Whatever, just be careful and warn this house next time for the love of God. You are Dubious Khan, aren't you?
Yeah, hi. Nice to meet you. Why do you ask?
Oh, I've just been hearing interesting stories about you, mainly from Night and a few other sources. Nothing bad, I'll say that to you, but, oh, look at the time! It's, I gotta go back to the work call, so, later, you two.
Well, she seems interesting.
You should see the talking plush sometime, Khan. At least we got another key at Scalita. Just a few more left and we could get these bracelets off. Hopefully that black magic user's gonna help us out. Whoever it is.
Where the cool kids rule. Monster, monster high, monster high, monster, monster high. Come on, don't be shy, monster high. A party never dies. Monster high, monster high, monster, monster high. Freaky, shake and fly, monster high. Where student bodies lie.
Freaky's got me falling apart. Dracula stealing my heart. Clawdeen wolfie make me hollow the moon. And you're the finest fish in this lagoon. Clear the Nile, you so beguiled. Even though you act so vile. And Deuce has stone cold style. These are my boobs, my skeleton crew. A little strange, but so are you. Don't you wanna be a monster too?
Oh, freaky